And you can hear me okay?
Yeah, we're live, Mr. Potter.
Hey, how are you, Miss Ringwood?
So I want to introduce everybody to the amazing Toby Potter. Now, don't let him hear you say that because he might get a big head.
Uh,
So, Toby,
everybody needs to be lifted up every now and then, Brenda. I mean,
I
just a little bit, right?
just a little bit. I said amazing. Come on, how many times do you want me to say
No,
it?
you did. But you told the audience don't let them hear them say it. See, they need to say it because I'm a sensitive kind of guy. And she laughs. She laughs. I tell her I'm sensitive, and she laughs.
No,
That's
you
just
should
horrible.
you should see our text messages, guys.
Yeah. You
No,
know, we do have a lot of fun.
we do. What is life without fun? Because to me, if I love what I do, it's not work, right?
That's
And if
right.
it's not work and we're enjoying what we're doing, then we know we're in the right field. And I'm going to wait for some folks to come on, but we met just a couple months ago, but sometimes you just connect with people. I don't
Right.
care what their job is, where they're from. Sometimes you just connect, and we kind of did that. We just connected. We had a vibe.
You know, you say a couple months ago, but it feels like it's been almost a lifetime
It
already. I
does.
mean, and I'm not exaggerating. A lot of people say that, but we've done so much we've been to Africa.
Hmm.
We've been on stage, what, 4 or 5 times now?
We have.
We've done so much in the short period of time. I mean, it's just, and you're right. Time flies because we're having a blast. Time flies because we're enjoying every second of every minute of everything that we do. The transformation, the inspiration that we give each other, that we give out to the world. It's been unbelievable.
And we're just getting started.
And we're only 2 months into this gig, so I mean, can you imagine what happens? You know, I was talking to a good friend of ours this morning, and he said, in 12 months it won't even be fair. In 12 months it won't even be fair. And I'm like, I get so excited, because I can't. I need 12 months to get here now. I'm that impatient. I'm that guy that wants to change the world overnight. And
But good things take time, Mr.
yeah, that's
Potter.
what everybody keeps saying. You
Mhm.
know what? I'm just going to plug my ears. I don't, you know, and here's the deal. And all of us, and we're going to talk about this. I know we're going to talk about this. Here's the thing. You and I we're old enough now that
Mhm.
we've talked to a lot of people that are past the age to where there's not much more they can do. And you ask them, and there's been so many surveys and so many things done that they say, hey, people on their deathbed, what's one thing that you wish you could have, what's one regret you have? And they're like, I wish I could have done more. I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. And I know that's going to be the foundation we talk about. But see, that's my fear, is that I don't know that I know God has a plan, and I know He has exactly how much we're going to do on this earth. But there's so much I see that we can do that I just want to get it done before that time runs out. And that's just
And we never know when that time is gonna be, so you're
we
right.
never
We
do.
we need to get it done, and that was me. I was feeling like, there's more I should be doing, there's more I can be doing, why am I not doing it? And I
Right.
was letting still what I thought other people's opinions of me were, that nobody would want to listen or follow
Right.
or whatever, insert title here, but then I decided, who cares?
Right.
Because they're not the ones that I'm after.
Right. Well,
I'm after
as
the
you
ones that want to change.
right, and like I said, what, a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if you know, we're over 28,000 views on that little deal that I did a couple weeks ago, and it was all about removing that noise. The naysayers, the people that say nobody wants to hear that message. You can't do this. You can't be that. That's that noise that holds us down that we have to remove. We have to remove it and just do what we have a burning passion to do.
That's
Period.
right. And just take action. You got to execute what's going
Right.
on in your brain.
You
Otherwise,
got
it's just
to.
a thought.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
something. I'd like to
Yeah.
just get into that really, because you did something a couple years. Well, it's been a long time ago, but I mean,
Or a
you
couple.
are,
Yeah.
you're a little bit older than me, so I can say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. A couple years ago. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you
A
did
couple years ago.
something. You made a decision to make a change.
I did. I did. And I really want us to go deep into that, Brenda, this morning. We're going to start with, the decisions you make shape your lives, but the life that you want needs to shape your decision. And that's exactly what happened. 1995. So what's 30 years ago? September of 1995. So we're exactly 30 years at the anniversary, September 23rd, 1995. A little princess was brought into my life. I had always dreamt of having, a family, and I didn't have the greatest family life, but I wanted an amazing family. But the first thing I wanted more than anything was a little baby girl. Most men want a son. I didn't. I wanted a girl, and I wanted her to be everything. I had this vision of that her daddy was everything, that she worshiped him and I would worship her. I mean, there was just this bond. And when she was born on September 23rd, 1995, and I held her in my arms, I mean, this overwhelming love, unconditional drive just engulfed me. And I knew right then and there that my prayer had been answered. I knew right then and there that everything that I had dreamt of and wanted was right there in my arms in that delivery room, and I couldn't let her go. But we had to go to work. And so shortly thereafter, we had a landscape company, and it was here in Texas. And one of the things that I had to do a couple times a week was I had to load up a truck and a trailer and drive all the way down to Louisiana to buy plants, great pricing. And I would load that trailer up, but the drive down there was 100% consumed with visions of that little baby girl growing up, her first steps, her first crawling, her first words, all these firsts that I envisioned going on. And so I'd drive down there, I'd load up and I'd drive back, and then we would work, till 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. So I was putting in good 12, 15, 18-hour days, providing for the family, like all of us do. And about 3 months into it, I walked in a little bit early one afternoon, called it a day early, wanted to get home to my baby girl. And my wife is just grinning from ear to ear. I mean, just my beautiful wife is just smiling, as big as you can imagine. And I'm like, what? She goes, you would not believe what your daughter did today. And I said, honey, come on, I'm tired. She's 3 months old. She can't do anything. She goes, no, Toby, I'm walking her. She's on the floor. She always had this little quilt down on the floor. It was my grandmother had made it. It was something that I cherish. But she was down there on the floor, and she would lay on the floor. And she said, I would walk by, and I would notice she was watching me. And I would look back and grin, and she would grin. And then I'd walk the other direction, and she would watch me. And then I'd stop and I'd get on the floor and make, Google noises and all these, baby noises, and she would laugh. And she looks back at me, and I've got this solemn look over my face. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
You were missing out.
I was missing out. And it hit me like a brick. I mean, all that passion, all that love, all those daydreams just vanished in seconds. Because at that moment in time, I just saw that my baby girl, the one that was everything to me, the one that taught me unconditional love, what it really meant, was going to grow up with it. If I continued, she was going to grow up without her daddy. I wasn't going to see her crawling. I wasn't going to see her walking. I wasn't going to see all those things. Yeah, it was going to be gone. So right then and there, I made a decision. Right then and there, I made a decision. And see, everybody wants all these things they aspire to have, all this great life and all this, but things hold them back. There's excuses. I don't have the money. I don't have the education. I don't know how. But see, I made a decision to right then and there to sell that company. That company was not the life that I wanted, nor was it going to give me the life that I dreamt of with that little girl. That wasn't going to give me the freedom. I knew I had to do that every day, all day long, to sustain what we had. Nothing was going to change until I made a change. So I got up the next day and I went in and I sold the company. Now,
Just like
people
that.
say, well, yeah, well, we probably had some money. So I say the word sell the company. I gave the company away. I walked in and one of my team leads was there. He'd been with me for several years. I said, hey, buddy, I don't want to do this anymore. I got to do something different. Here's the keys. If you can pay me this amount every month when you earn money, great. If you can't, we'll work it out. And I literally handed him the keys to the truck, because we had a retail nursery. We had 5 trucks. We had 4 different crews. And I said, these are all yours. This guy's in charge. He's your boss. And I walked away. And the company failed. In 60 days, the doors were closed. But see, that wasn't important to me. It wasn't the price of what I was losing or going to gain from the sale of that. It was the price I was willing to pay to have the future that I dreamt of, the future that, what I had always envisioned.
And that's the part people forget about. They're looking at the money instead of,
yes.
I will take the happiness, the peace, the family, everything that goes with that over the money every time, because the money can't buy any of that.
It can't. And I didn't care. I was so driven to the fact that I had visioned a future for my family. I had dreamt of a way to provide and a lifestyle to live, and I wasn't getting there down that path. And so I said, there's no options here. No excuses. Make a choice right now, a decision to shape my future. And I walked away. And
that was 30 years ago.
30 years ago this month, 30 years this month, and I don't know, another 13
You didn't just
days?
even walk away from that. You went to a completely different field.
Right.
But you
I had to find something. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I had to find something that was going to give me that lifestyle, that future. And it was I wanted to see everything about that baby girl. I wanted to know everything. I wanted to be involved in everything. And I'll guarantee you there's so many people listening right now that say, yes, that is what I want. That is what I dream. Every one of us going through high school, college, young adults, we all have this vision of the perfect life. What happens is we don't make the right decision, and then we never change. We never pivot. And then we're stuck because we give ourselves so many excuses. Well, I got a mortgage. I got utilities. I got groceries. I got bills. We all have them. I had them.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't rich. We were dirt poor. I was going through the photo albums, and I've sent you some pictures, and I was going through some today. If you just saw the house that we lived in, I had nothing. I mean, literally, we had nothing then. The landscape nursery was a cash in, cash out. It was hand to mouth. But see, that wasn't the life that I envisioned. And so I did. I got into the mortgage industry, and I have a picture that I found, and I wish I could throw it up there, but I literally am sitting. So I got into the mortgage industry, and what it afforded me was the ability to work from home. And I am sitting right here. And if you saw the pictures, like that ain't you, but I'm sitting right here with my baby girl in my arms on a computer working at the age of 4 months old, 5 months old.
And I think I've seen you with the baby girl in your arms working now.
And you're right. You're right. Because see, and I tell them, I said, for 30 years, I've worked to have this availability to now have my granddaughter sit here. My granddaughter, everyone that's followed me on Facebook and LinkedIn has seen my granddaughter, who is now the big apple of my eye. The most inspirational thing I've ever had has been on Zoom calls. She comes to the office once a week. For the first 18 months of her life, she was here every day. And she would fall asleep on my chest, and we would get on Zoom calls, and I'd say, hey guys, I'm sorry, but my granddaughter's with me. We're going to have this call with her. I hope you are okay with it.
But if they weren't, oh well.
Yeah, but see, I made a decision 30 years ago to afford me this life today. I didn't accept any excuses. I didn't accept any fears. I didn't accept any outside noise. I made a decision to shape my life, a decision that afforded me the lifestyle that I have today. Now, here's what's awesome. I made that decision September 23rd, 1995. 5 years later, that little girl, I got to watch her crawl. I got to watch her walk. I got to hear her first words. My wife and I took her to kindergarten, and we dropped her off, and the little toot just goes right in and goes down the hall, and we're over there looking through the cafeteria door windows. We're looking at her, thinking and hoping she's going to turn around and come crying back, right? And we're over there looking. And the tears are running down our face, and she just keeps on going. She never looked back. I'm like, that little toot just, we're here bawling like babies, and she just went without us. We're going to miss her more than she's missing us. And so that was the first time that I said, it was worth it. It's absolutely, it was tough. Do not get me wrong. It was tough. We were dead broke. We did not know if we were going to pay the bills, how we were going to, but the life that we lived, the memories that I have was amazing, because 5 years later, that little girl got into competition cheerleading, and I went to every practice, and then we went, and she made it to nationals. We went to the national finals. She won national, and I'm telling you, I get choked up right now. I'm saying, and if anybody's ever been at any kind of gymnastics or cheerleading event, you sit for hours. Like days for a 3-minute episode, but it was worth it, because when they won, I cried like a little baby. So much that after that evening, we are sitting in the hotel. I couldn't sleep. My little baby girl couldn't sleep. And I said, hey, you want to go get some ice? And it was like 11 o'clock in San Antonio, p.m. Say, hey, you want to go get some ice cream? Yeah, Dad, let's go. And so her and I got up, got dressed, and went for a walk down on the Riverwalk in San Antonio. Got lost. But, these are the kind of things. See, I made a decision so that I could have those moments.
Absolutely.
And that's what was so empowering. Was it easy? Heck no, man, no. But was it worth it? I would never, ever do it differently. Knowing all the pain, knowing all the struggles, knowing how many times we couldn't pay the bills. But you know what? You only get one round in this life, and you only get one round with your family and your children and your grandchildren. And so you have to make that decision without hesitation to shape the life you want, and then go.
Nobody's going to do it for you.
Nobody's going to do it for you.
That's right.
Every day, I have ingrained in everything that I do that if it's going to be, it's up to me. Brenda's not going to do it for me. The 100+ people that's on here right now, they're not going to do it for me, and I'm not going to do it for you.
No.
I can tell you how I did it. I can share with you how I did it, but you got to get up and do it. You got to know what you want and then never look back.
That's exactly right. That's what we do at Becoming the Better You. And you took the first step on becoming the best version of yourself when you made that decision that day. You didn't let fear stop you, your doubt. How was I going to make money? What am I going to do? You just went after what you thought was the best thing for your family. And it was. It ended up being what you needed to do. Now, we're not telling everybody go out there and quit your job or sell your business. That's not what we're saying. But we are saying to put it.
I'm quitting my job. And then they'll call me, hey, can you pay rent? Can you pay? No. But some people have to make that drastic change. We had to.
Yes. I had to do the same.
Yeah. But you have, and here's the one thing that as you know, Brenda, and I wrote a book, The Unshakable Self.
Just one book?
Just one of the many, yes, one of the 9. But see, here's where people fall short. Here's where people just don't execute. And it's because they don't believe in themselves. They've lost that passion. They've lost that fire. They've lost that zeal to be great. Become the Better You is all about that. See, when we're young, I'll guarantee you, if anybody tells me that wasn't me, then we really need to talk. But I'll guarantee you this one statement. Every one of us, 1,000% of the time, every one of us growing up envisioned an amazing life. There's not one person said, I want to be a bum. I want to make $30,000 a year and be dead broke, paycheck to pay. Not one person in the world growing up said, that's my future. Just the opposite.
That's right.
Growing up, we envisioned having money.
even as a young girl, we
Right.
dream of being wives and mothers, but we never even think about the cost of it or the
Yeah.
money or how that's going to happen.
No.
We don't even think about that. We think about what we want.
Yeah, but see, then we become adults, and then we get into the world, and then we listen to the noise around us, and it says this is as good as you can be. See,
Mm.
you tried this venture over here, and it failed, and then you tried another venture, and it failed. So, see, you just can't become that, and that's what happens, and they have to stop because see, I I have four brothers and I have four sisters, so I have a big family. My wife had a brother, had a parents, and they all said, "You are the biggest idiot I've ever seen. You have
Oh,
a wife and a baby. How dare you just quit?" I'm like,
that's
no,
because that generation, it was go punch a clock. They
that's
didn't
right.
understand.
That's
Well, I'm
right.
not saying they didn't understand it because some did, but
It just
the majority of them thought that time in and time out was the best thing since
that's right.
whatever they
Well,
liked. Mhm.
and people are even today are about. I would rather have security. Maybe it's not the best, but I have security. I have a job. I am providing for my family. But are you really? I mean, if you're miserable and if you're not fun loving and just walking on air around your family, are you really providing? Sure, you put a roof over their head. Sure, you put food on the table. But is that truly the passion and the vision that you felt when you
Is
got
it
married?
fulfilling?
Right.
Yeah, you
Right.
have to be fulfilled.
And I
I
will tell
love
you,
seeing other people's aha moment. Come on.
it's
That light bulb.
amazing.
Mhm.
It's amazing. And as you know, we've rolled out a program to where we're mentoring and coaching people and
You have
and we've
you got another program that actually got me up and moving in the morning. So let's talk
right
about that little thing because
the
it's
ignite.
I say a little thing, but it's really not.
It's so empowering. And that's where I was going. So the Ignite program, where we have daily disciplines of being able to strengthen spiritual, mental, and physical. Because see, that's where I was going. See, if I didn't have that then, I wouldn't have made it. I say I believed in myself so much that I had no fear. I had no fear. I believed I could accomplish anything that was thrown in front of me. A lot of people lose that. I believed as a kid I was a superhero,
I
and I
think you
never
still got
lost it.
that.
I never lost it. I still think I'm a superhero today, and I'm over 50 years old. But
See?
see,
I
so
wait
many
a
people,
minute. No, over 40.
yeah, okay, I'm over 30. Let's just say that. All right. I'm over 30. But see, people lose that, Brenda. I mean,
They
they
do.
lose that belief because people, noise around them told them no. So we started the Ignite program that says, you know what, let's rebuild that, let's rekindle that. And I had a gentleman and I hope to God he's on here, but he didn't show up Monday, and so I called him because I have an interview with everybody that we bring into it, so that I have a full understanding of. So we can customize their course that
Right.
really is customized for Brenda, for Toby, for the other individuals. And so he wasn't on there Monday. I'm like, man, I'll make sure everything's okay. So I called him, left him a message, and told him we missed him and making sure everything's good. He called me right back, I think in tears. He said,
Oh,
Toby,
wow.
nobody has ever done that for me. You don't know me. I've signed up for your Ignite course. I wasn't on the call. You notice and there's a ton of people on the call. You notice I wasn't on the call, but you called me to make sure I was okay. And I said, that's what we're supposed to do. I thought that's what I'm supposed to do. I care about these people. I truly want them to become better. Now, I'm not going to make them get on the call. I'm not going to make them do the courses. I'm not going to make them do the daily disciplines. But if I see that you're not, it's my job to figure out why. And maybe you don't care enough, but maybe you do. And if I can help you ignite and grow and inspire that fire back inside you and you become a better person, be the better you, then we've done our job. And so I talked to him and he's like, I will never miss another call. And I just can't believe that I did not sign up for this a long time ago. And I said, well, the good news is it wasn't out there a long time ago, but now you have it. Now let's run with it. And that made my whole day.
Sometimes
Knowing that,
people don't know what they have in their hand.
right,
And they
right.
make the excuses that, I can do this later. But let me tell you, I took that evaluation. He didn't give me a choice. He didn't let me make excuses. He just said, go take this. So when Toby speaks, I listen, and I went and took it, and it was amazing. It was dead on. It was
It
dead
is.
on. And the parts that it came back to me was it said that look, you take care of everybody else, you take care of your business, you take care of your family, but you're not taking care of yourself.
You
And
do.
if we don't take care of ourselves, how can you continue to take care of everybody else?
Yep.
And it was the truth. And it touched on some things that unless you take the test, you're not really going to understand. But it hit home on so many different levels because we need to hear the things that we need to improve on.
We
And then
do. And
don't just make the excuses about it.
right. And unfortunately, there's still a lot of people out there that are in denial. It's kind of like an intervention. You know, you bring the family in, and Johnny walks in. Hey, Johnny, have a seat. We got to talk about your problems because we got to get fixed. And Johnny becomes very defensive. This assessment does that same thing. I've had so many people, not so many, I've had a good number of people that said, you know, I didn't appreciate that came out like that. I'm like, I didn't. You said it, not me.
Mm-hmm.
You tell your story. We just
Yeah.
analyze it, and then if it hits you in the gut, then maybe. And see, to me,
Listen
I
to
know
it.
those people. Yeah, they're still in denial. They're still trying to say, "Well, I can overcome this," and that's okay. It's those that say, "I'm ready for a better tomorrow. I'm tired of today. Yesterday sucked. Today's not going to be better, and if I don't make a decision." Tomorrow's gonna be the same way. I'm ready for a better tomorrow. I'm
And the
ready
next day and the
for
next day and the next day
right,
until you make that choice, until you say, today is the day, right
yep,
now,
yep.
nothing's going to change. So you're going to be in Kansas City next week.
Because of you, I can't sleep. I am so
Uh-huh.
I am like a 6-year-old kid just knowing Santa's coming tomorrow and I can't sleep. My wife is so mad at you and at Dr. Rubin and everybody because this guy, I work, you know, all day here at the office. I go home, I'll crash for 2 hours on the couch, and then I'm up. I'm up.
That's me too.
Yeah.
That's the way I work as well.
I am
But
so
you said
stoked.
something to me when I first met you. You said, I want to get on stages.
Yep.
I'm not looking at the money for it. I want to impact people. And I don't
Yep.
know what that looks like, but I know I want to do it. So I said, well, we can go to Africa. We're going to Africa next month. And you said, let's go.
Let's
I mean,
go.
let's go. We spoke to probably, I'm going to say, in the matter, just in the village, there's a couple hundred people out there every day.
Easily.
And then at Ruben's event, there's a couple hundred people in there.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then you guys got to go play, and I got to go to Kissy, and I got to speak to 3,000 high school girls.
I know. I know. That was an amazing deal. And then you and I, and then you wrote me into going into Pastor Quasi's
Mhm.
village and meet with him. Hey, come join me. I've got this little leadership course I'm teaching to preachers and Sunday school teachers. Come join me if you want. Sure, I'll come join you. You put us in a circle, right? You put us in a circle and you say, hey, we want to talk about leadership. And in order for that leadership to be empowered in the church, we really need it to be starting at home. And so I really think Toby, who's here as a guest, should lead us. I'm like, I'm going to shoot you. You're lucky I can't carry a gun on a plane. I'm going to shoot you because we had a 45-minute ride to the village
Uh-huh.
and you never mentioned it.
I kept it quiet. I didn't give you the opportunity to say no.
And I would never tell you no. I would
No,
never tell you
you
no.
always say yes, but sometimes people backpedal a little bit.
Yeah. Did
And
I?
when you tell me you want to do this and you want to make a difference, then that's all I
Yep.
needed to hear.
You
And
threw it out there.
you met Chris while we were there, right? So I just got a
Yeah.
message from Chris. He's over in Nairobi. And we said we were going to start dividing and conquering and doing all these things. And he's on teaching to kids right now. He just
Nice.
sent me this message, and Johnny Avocado is the teacher on there, and he's doing amazing right now. He said,
That's
Mom,
amazing.
I just love the avocado message that he's sharing. So while we're doing this, he's on another call over in
Yeah.
Nairobi, Kenya. And then you're also, after Kansas City, you're going to go down to Destin with me. You're going to
Yep.
meet some folks down there. And then we're going to
Yep.
Lawton, Oklahoma to talk to 15,000 kids.
I'm ready. And we were going to Pakistan to speak to what, 30,000? But
Yes,
the
we're still going. It's just been
no.
moved because of the flooding.
Yeah, we had to move it,
Yes.
but yeah, my wife's like, can you pack your guns going to Pakistan? I said, nope, I got
Nope.
God on my side. I ain't worried. We're good.
You know what I
So
tell people? They say, there's that song, I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody that
yes,
changed
yes.
my world or my
Hmm.
soul. Well, they talk about David bringing a rock to a sword fight. No, he
Right.
brought God to that fight.
He didn't bring no
He
rock.
brought God to that fight.
And that's
And when
what,
you're
I love that message because people, when people talk about it and we tell a story, all the Israelites saw a giant,
Mhm.
but David said, that's just a man and
He's
I
just a
got God.
man.
What are you
Yep,
guys doing back here? Bunch of babies?
that's right.
Yeah,
And he was a
yeah,
teenager.
yeah, this is just a man. I got God. I killed a lion, I killed a bear. I didn't, God did.
Mhm.
And you guys are all cowering down because of this guy, just because he's 9 foot tall. Watch this. I got a little pow, done. All right,
That's
let's
right.
go. I'm going back to the flock. You guys carry on. That's the power. See, when you believe in yourself so much, you walk away from the crap and you create the life you want. That's what I have in me. I know that no matter what, it could come down a storm. They did last night, but I'm not worried because
All
see,
those
I'm in
pictures.
God's hands. I'm in God's hands, and He knows the plans He has for me. Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you to prosper you, not to harm you. I believe in that, and I
Mhm.
will die on that. And that's what people need
Absolutely.
to understand is if you have God in your heart, if you believe in everything that He's promised us, then there can be no fear. There can be no fear. Daniel in the lion's den, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego into the fiery pit. They weren't scared. They say, you know what? If it's our time, it's our time. But we're not going to back up because of the noise around us.
Mhm.
We're not going to allow the naysayers to influence it because we got God on our side. And
That's
so, and
right.
Peter says it better, or Paul says it better than anybody. To be here on earth, I'm serving God, but if I'm not here anymore, I'm now living with God.
Yeah. So if something happens,
How's it
you're in
bad?
paradise anyways. That's right.
Right.
And I even love Samson's story because he had not listened to the directions to not have the women that he had in his life and all these things. And so he lost that power, but then he sacrificed it in the
All of
end
it.
for
Yep.
his faith, for his belief,
Yep.
for his God, and for his people. That's the type of leadership you should have. Those are the decisions you should be making, not just about what's in it for me, but what
Right.
kind of an impact am I going to make? And I'm not talking on the world. The world is great, right? But the impact just with your own self and your own family.
Right. That's right. The
If you can
legacy.
start there, yeah.
Mhm.
And I tell people, everybody wants to leave a legacy. I want to live it right now.
Yeah. No,
I want to
yeah.
live it right now.
And if you're, and that's so dead on, Brenda. People say, I want to leave a legacy. Well, what are you doing to create it? If you're not living it, you're not establishing it, you're not building it, because a legacy isn't something at the end of the road. The legacy is the whole entire road to the end.
Yeah.
It's the journey.
So if you don't have the journey, how are you going to leave the legacy
Right.
later?
That's
So
right.
for me, you might be leaving a fortune, you might be
Right.
leaving an empire, but you're not leaving a legacy if you didn't build it and live it while you were here.
And I can tell you this: we could do Chat GPT right now. Say how many multi-millionaires have died that nobody knows about, and
Several.
then tell me how many people left a legacy. Whether it's our buddy Les Brown, whether
Mhm.
it's Zig Ziglar, whether it's Andrew Carnegie, whether it's it just goes on. Billy Graham, Helen Keller. I mean, we can go on and on. And those people, the wealth
It
was
wasn't about
there.
the money.
It was
It wasn't
as a
about the money.
byproduct. Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
means to a source to a means. Zig Ziglar told me the short time that I was working with him. He said, I was broke and then I'm wealthy. And he said, and it wasn't that I wanted to acquire wealth, but when I started acquiring wealth, I realized how much more I could do because I could
Mm.
then fly wherever I need to go and impact more people. When I'm broke, I could only walk, drive, or take a bus. And that's a short trip. But once I had money, I could jump on a plane. I could
Mhm.
stay longer. I could meet more. I didn't have to come back because see, I had wealth coming in. And so I could turn that wealth into impact. I could take that wealth and spread it to the world and create that message. And he said, the minute I realized how empowering that was, I started dumping 100% of my money back into the people to the courses, to the travel, and Billy Graham the same way.
And look at Billy Graham. What if he gave up? What if he told God no?
Yeah. What
Because I'm
if
sure his crowds were not big when he first got started.
No, when he was 16 years old, and he was not a Christian. His family, he grew up in a Christian home, but he was anti. He was tired of it being shoved down his throat. But see, here's the one time you listen to the right noise, because he had his buddies saying, "Hey, there's this guy Malachi Ham, and he's preaching, and man, he's just so empowering. And when he preaches, he's preaching right to you. And oh my God!" And Billy said, "Fine, I'll go." And then it was over. But see, here's what happened. The Holy Spirit was planted by his friends. And once the Spirit is planted, we're done. Our job is done.
Right.
Then it takes
That's right.
over.
Your job is done until he calls you again, and he will.
Yeah. And I don't want this to come across wrong, but see, that's what I want to become. I want to be that guy that just plants the seed. And I want people to say, if I hadn't gone to listen to Toby Potter and Brenda Ringwood, I wouldn't be who I am today. I don't want to be great. I want to create greatness. I want to create the Billy Grahams. I want to create the Les Browns. I want to create this. I want to be the guy that just lights the fire and then watch them tear up nations with power and passion and inspiration and civility and all that. I want to be that igniter. That's what I want to do.
But look what you did. You made another decision. So yeah, you made that decision 30 years ago, and you've had a great life, right? You've had wealth. You know what it is to lose and gain and lose and gain. You've had all these things because that's just life. But you made another decision that you were going to go and impact lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look who's Dr. Reuben West is coming to your life. Sir Clyde Rivers is coming.
Sir Clyde Rivers. Can you believe Sir Clyde Rivers? I'm going to so I'm telling the world. I don't know how many hundreds are in here, but I get to ride in the car from the airport. And Reuben, I hope you're listening. I get to ride in the car from the airport with Sir Clyde Rivers right beside me. And you haven't met him in person, and I'm going to meet him before you do. So you better not jinx this. You better not jinx this.
Now you're just going to make me not have to finish, so I can't go to the airport. We will be setting up.
But but Brenda, we met 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Hey.
And look what all we've already done.
Yeah. And we're just getting started.
And we have just, like Dr. Reuben said, in 12 months, it won't be fair. It won't be fair. The impact, the people.
It is fair. I mean, it won't be fair. I understand what he's saying, but it is fair because you're taking action. Right. It's not fair to the people who aren't, but that's their decision.
And that's what's so important with the message is that people, I'm telling you, for everyone on here, I know you want a better future. You want a better tomorrow. You want to be inspired and excited. Do you think I mean, this energy is from the knowledge and the hope of what I can do for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. My life is not always rosy. It's not always perfect. In fact, it's been a really, really crappy week. But you know what? It doesn't beat me down because I know what I have to give to the world. And I know what my future looks like. And I can take on those bad days. I had a $900,000 loan that we closed and funded that needed to be paid back to me. That's been sitting on the books for over 30 days, and that's way too long.
Yeah.
And it was wearing me out. But I said, you know what? I don't care because I know it will happen. Mm-hmm. And I know, but see, I can't let that noise quench my fire. I can't let the outside world, who will always try to drag you down, put out my fire. My fire is for me and for the people that I inspire. And for everybody listening here, you have that same fire. Maybe it's just smoldering, but let's reignite it. And let's make a decision to have a better tomorrow.
Absolutely. And you said something about that you made a decision to do this, that you have this fire within you, right? That you're wanting to make these changes and move on with a better life. And you really have a decent life right now, but you're wanting now to make an impact and help others have a decent life. And you've kind of shifted gears. Yeah. Completely, where it went from you and your family, and now it's out to others. And I'm going to toot your horn just a little bit because we're not dealing with a dummy here. You have done over $1 billion worth of underwriting on loans. Yeah. Yeah. So you shifted from being a landscaper into being a lender.
Yeah.
Right. You also own your own real estate. You own your own programs that you do, and you help others to have the life that you have. But you're still saying, I'm willing to go do this. My fire is for something else. So you are also making another decision
Yeah.
and another time frame in your life so that your next 30 years can be impactful.
I'm gonna, and I greatly appreciate that. I want to share a little story with you. And I was so glad to hear Les Brown say it. I was so glad when he made this statement. I'm like, thank you, Lord. I'm not the only one. I've wanted to do this for decades. Everybody's my office manager, who's been with me since day one, has said, her husband said, why doesn't he speak for a living? He is so powerful. He's so inspirational. Why doesn't he do this for a living? And I've had that told, and I said, I love it. I love being on stage. I've always made the joke, I love the camera and the camera loves me, because I'm not afraid of it. In fact, the bigger the crowd, the better the message. But I've wanted to do this for decades, and for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. And when I met you, it was boom. There was no turning back. The timing was perfect, but I can't turn it off now. I mean, you talk about God saying, "Here's where we're going." If I wanted to stop, I couldn't.
No, but it wasn't me. I'm just the middleman. You said yes. You said
I
yes.
know.
If you wouldn't have said yes, it doesn't matter what I do for you.
And
It
I
doesn't matter
can't.
what I do for anybody. You have to say yes.
And for the life of me, I can't remember what was going on that inspired me so much to say, this is what I want to do. Because the minute the words came out of my mouth, it was like that day 30 years ago this month when I said, I'm selling that company. The minute those words came out, the decision was made, and I never looked back. And I can tell, for everybody listening, I can tell you, I would never not do it again.
But you are. You are doing it again.
I wouldn't do it differently.
Right. No, I know, but you said something else. You said something else to me maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that long ago. And I said, Toby, if you could do this full time and make an income and still pay your bills, would you give up the other stuff? And you said, in a heartbeat.
Tomorrow.
In a heartbeat. So that gave me chills, because I knew I was dealing with somebody that really wanted to make an impact with others.
Yeah.
And that's powerful.
Yeah. No, and I'm as we've shared with you, we got a big old Class A bus, and I told you, if I didn't have all this, we'd be in that bus, and I'd tell you to book me from city to city to city. We'd make a nationwide tour, and we would be in that bus every night. We would be the new rock band of BTBY, going from city to city to city. We'd hire us a driver.
And I'm telling you not to count that out, because it's coming.
I'm not going to. We hire us a driver. We sleep, from city to city. We get there and we change lives, and then we jump back on the bus. And I would do that but I would have to then have a flight for my granddaughter to come and visit me at each spot. That's right. So
I'm in the same boat with that. I just had mine spent one of my 4 spend the night last night. So
I hope my daughter's on here. Taylor, I hope you're on it, because I can't wait for my grandkids to spend the night.
Oh man, we get ours all the time. Do I need to have a
I know. Every other grandparent in the world gets their grandkids all the time, but this one doesn't get their grandkids to spend the night yet.
My kids are like, are they coming? Can they come over? Sometimes we have to tell them no.
See, and I'm like, Taylor, can we hang out with you guys? No, we got things. Hey, Taylor, can we hang out today? No, we got plans. Hey, can I come by? No, we're not going to be there. Are you kidding? Do you just avoid me on purpose? I brought you into this world. I gave you 30 years of greatness, and then you take the next thing away from me.
Something's already changed there, because she's had baby number 2. So now things are going to start. She's going to be needing some more of her time, and I guarantee you now she's going to be saying, "Hey, Dad."
Yeah. Well, we really did think that the minute that the second one was coming, say, "Hey, take Emmy, so I can because the baby takes a lot of time." No. So
you're going to get it. You're going to get that time.
I give them so much crap. I mean, so we were going home last night, huh?
You see them a lot, but I have to say this. I have to take your daughter's side on that. I think you spoil those kids just a little bit too much. That's what she said. There's got to be some discipline, Dad.
Yeah, no, we have yet to scratch the surface. That's why they don't let her stay with, because they know what we will do.
That's what I'm
I know what they're thinking. I know the conversations. I'm not stupid, but they're like, no. If she goes over there, they're going to give her chocolate chip cookies. They're going because the one or two times that she kind of stayed with us, we never went. She never took a nap, and we didn't go to bed till like 10, or took her home like at
And she
10:30.
was fine. And she was
And
fine.
she was fine. She
Are you
made it just
hearing that,
perfect.
Mama? She was fine.
Yeah. No, but see, because Brenda, 30 years ago, an absolute hard, fast decision was made. We could sit here and I could tell you so many stories of all the joy, all the memories, all the greatness. And yes, they're sprinkled in terrible days, hardship days, massive losses. 2008, I lost everything. We were riding high on the mountain. My daughters, all they knew was big boats, big RVs, and cheerleading and volleyball. I mean, they never
Whatever
wanted
they
for
wanted.
anything. Yeah, they never wanted for anything. And then the next day, we're sitting down here at the Kroger, clipping coupons and recycling water bottles, and trying to figure out how I can take $20 and make it last for the next week until I could get a commission. And I think I told you, the mortgage industry crashed in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I tried getting a job, but the only thing on my resume was mortgage, and I was the owner, so it wasn't like I worked as a corporate executive. Nobody was hiring me. I had nothing on there. I had to go get another all-commission job and revamp. But see, even through all that,
But you were willing.
I was never looked back. I never hesitated, and we rebuilt, and we have an amazing life today. My daughters are wonderful. They didn't.
That one getting married.
One's married. One's getting married.
Mm-hmm.
2 grandkids, and to hear them tell the stories just makes my heart just swell with joy, because they saw all the power and the drive that their dad would never give up no matter what. And see, that's what everybody needs
They
to
saw
understand.
something bigger than that. They saw that he didn't give up for me.
That's right. Because of my passion, because of my love, because of my promises to them, I knew I had an obligation and a responsibility to make a decision for a better future.
Absolutely. Well, Toby, I can't wait to see you. I've seen you a lot these last, man, we've been in Florida together. We've been in Kansas City together twice.
Yep.
We've been in Africa together. You're coming back to Kansas City, and we're bringing Juma's coming over.
Pick Juma up tomorrow.
That's right.
Pick Juma up tomorrow.
There's a killer lineup, man. Killer lineup coming.
Juma wrote this book, The Art of Civility. Amazing book. So yeah, he's going to be. We pick him up at the airport tomorrow, and then he and I fly to see you on Tuesday, and we're there. We've got the lineup you have is unbelievable.
It's a great lineup. The other thing you said to me too, you said, "Do you know this guy?" And I
Anthony
said, "Yeah, he's speaking at our event." And he went, "What?" I said, "Yeah, Anthony Trucks is coming to the event."
I'm like, yeah. I said, hey, do you know Anthony Trucks? She goes, yeah. I said, really? You know Anthony? He goes, yeah. He's going to be at my event. I'm like, what do you mean? Anthony Trucks will be at your event? I want to be at your event. You are? Oh my God, it's a dream come true. I talked to her buddy this morning. I said, hey, I know he's not well. I know he's up in the years. I really, really, really want to see Les Brown. I really do.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see if we can make that happen.
He's what he said. He said, let me see what I can do, man.
We know a few people that know him personally that have that stuff. They can get him on the phone. Hey, there's my husband. Yeah. That they want to help you succeed as well. That's the circle that we run with.
That's the circle. And see, and this is where
that intro.
We expand that circle for everybody on here who wants a better tomorrow, who wants to be a better you. We will do this with you. We will do this for you. This is who we are. So if you're ready to make a decision, and you have to make the decision, you can't just want it. You can't just dream about it. You can't just think, someday, because someday never comes. You have to make a decision. I'm ready right here, right now, to be better. I want better tomorrow, better future, better time, better life, better happiness. Make that decision. Brenda, myself, the team. It's not just the two of us. The team. Go look at what she's doing next week. Go look at that lineup, and you will see a powerhouse of people that are there to help you achieve your goals and dreams. Because see, I get so upset with people who say, man, I really wish I could do this. I really wish I could do what you do. I said, why don't you? Well, and then the excuses come.
They do.
No, see, the minute you say, well, the only thing I hear is you don't believe in yourself. I don't
And
care
that's
what all the
exactly
other,
it. They
yeah,
don't
you
believe in
don't believe in
themselves.
yourself. It's not all this other noise. You use that as an excuse. The real reason you're not doing what you want to do is because you don't believe in you. I can fix that. I
When I first met Ruben West, I didn't meet him in person yet. I was just watching him online, and he was doing an event in Kansas City. And I was at a real dark point in my life. My health was bad. I was going through some tests. I didn't yet know why I was so sick. And because I have a immune deficiency where I have to have infusions every 4 weeks, but we hadn't found that out yet. And he was doing this event in Kansas City, and I really didn't even have the money for the ticket. And I was making every excuse because I said I wanted to get back into speaking, and I'd already done it, but I'd been out of it for a few years because I was taken somewhere. But they by my own doing. But they
had a lot to do with orange outfits, weren't they?
That's right. And I still like orange. I still like it. But Ruben said, I'm going to give you a free ticket. He put this offer out there that said, I'm giving away 2 free tickets to the community. And I messaged and I got the free ticket. And I almost still didn't come because I have done so many events in my life that I really thought, what am I going to learn?
Yep.
Because I've done so many, but I was not at the right type of events. I was at events that I was forced to be at, right? And then I was saying, well, what am I going to wear? My mom said, that sounds like an excuse to me. So just get your butt over there. And when I did, I was so happy because I learned so much. I met the best, amazing people in my life. And he has continued to introduce me. But I also had to do the work. See, I made the decision to go, but then I had to say yes when he said, are you going to do it? And when I said yes, things happen. And so I'm going to fast forward about 2 years. COVID had happened. This was 2019. COVID had happened. So about 2022, I had my first real time event, not just virtual. And I called him and I said something. I asked him if he would be on the show that I was doing. He said, sure. Next time I'm in Topeka, we'll meet up. And we get to Topeka and I do the show. And he says, Brenda, you have a Safe in His Arms coming up in like 2 weeks. And I said, yeah. He said, I'm available. I said, Ruben, it's not a paid event. It's all,
Charity.
Volunteer. And he said, I said, I'm available. And I was still making the excuse that why would he want to come to this, right? And but he says, I'm not going to tell you, this is the last time I'm going to tell you I'm available. I said, okay, I'm going to make sure you're here. And he came in. It was just spectacular to see now things all coming together. But what he told me on the show was, I'm here for you because you're actually doing it. A lot of people say it, they talk about it, but they're not actually doing it. And when I see that you're actually out here doing it, now my time is of value with you. And that's powerful.
It's powerful. And this is what, I hope that this resonates with somebody who's listening today, that you have to make the commitment and then you have to follow through. You have to go after it. Nobody's going to, we said it earlier, nobody's going to do it for you. In fact, more people are going to tell you you can't do it. It's amazing how nobody will step up and help you out, but they're the first ones to tell you, oh, you can't do that. That won't work. Oh my God, what are you thinking? They are so loud in the negative, but it makes me mad. But
it does. My mom told me, she says, stop listening to people who have never done it. Stop listening
your dad
to people
tell you nobody wanted to hear your story?
That's right. My dad did. And he was really talking about himself because if I share my story, it makes him look bad.
Going to reflect on him. And that's what happens.
That's right.
Yeah. And when you told me that story, I was like, ooh, that's tough.
Well, I'm talking about my father, who was a colonel in the Army. And I'm an only child, right? So I'm 57, he's 78. So different generation too.
Yes.
And he did, the first time we went in, I was talking to the pastor and we were to the church he was going to. And instead of that pastor condemning me or trying to, shame on you, he said, will you speak about it at our senior dinner? And my dad's looking at me like, you better tell him no. And he really wanted me to not say yes. Well, I said yes. And I'm thinking, this is a small church, right? There can't be that many seniors here. But I didn't know that 80% of the church was seniors. So
Wow.
I was sharing my story, but when I got done, my dad came and he hugged me and he said, "I'm so proud of you, and I'm sorry that I didn't want you to share that story." And now he's one of my biggest fans.
Right.
One of my biggest
And
fans.
this is my point to that statement is most people will tell you, no, don't do this, you can't do this. It's because they have that fear within them and they're sharing it. But the minute you succeed, the minute you plow through it, and the
Mhm.
minute you rise above, they usually will come up and start supporting you because then they feel bad.
Yeah,
Like, oh crap, I wish I'd have been there then, but now I'm here now. And take it, wrap your arms around it, and lift
and
them
run
up
with it.
because
Yeah,
yeah, run with it. So you're going to get those people that say, "Oh, you can't do that. You've got responsibilities, you got duties, or you don't have the skill set, the talent." Well, see, don't listen to it. Don't listen. Listen
no,
to
don't
this.
listen to them. And just because you have those responsibilities are still there. Nobody's
It's
saying
still
because
there.
you're going to do this, you're not going to take care of your responsibilities.
Right. Well, and
That's the
here's the
thing.
deal. Nothing's going to change. You still have debt. You still have obligations. You still have responsibility. The only thing that's going to change is the fire within you. And when that fire changes, the direction changes, the
And your
path
debt's going to
changes,
change, your happiness
then
is going to
everything else
change, your
starts working its way
finances,
with
your
you.
marriage.
That's
Yes,
right. That's
all of
right.
that.
That's
You
right.
also said something I heard you say in Africa that your wife basically told you to get off your butt and go fix things.
Yeah, when COVID hit, of course, we went through the 2008 crash, lost it all, rebuilt, was on top of the world. 2019 was voted Private Lender of the Year. So I'm back here. I'm like, yeah, we did it. And then COVID hits. I'm like, you got to be kidding. We had 8.7 million in March that had been closed and funded, and we always close fund and then sell off to hedge
Right.
funds, insurance funds, all that. So we closed and funded with our capital and had a commitment to be bought. And on March 10th, they were supposed to buy, and they didn't. And they said, "Oh, we got hit with ransomware or something, so we have to switch everything over to a new system, and then we'll buy." Uh, and on March 11th, we said, "Okay, where are we at? Oh, we'll get it on Friday, March 13th, 2020, a Friday." I get the call and they said, "Oh, we're not buying any loans because of COVID. It's a national pandemic, and we don't know what's going to happen in our industry." And I said, "That's fine. We're good. Just buy these and we'll move on." No, 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 you're not listening to me, Toby. We're not buying anything. I said, "I have a written contractual agreement. You will buy this 8.7 plus my commissions of about $500,000. You're going to honor that." Toby, we're not. and
Oof.
and and I'm right back to 2000. I'm like, you got to be. I worked so hard to protect that would never happen again, and yet who knew about a COVID-19 crap?
You never know what's going to happen.
Right. And so yeah, I got mad again. I got pouty again. I locked myself in this office and would sit here every day being a baby. And after about 30 days, she walks in, closes the door, because every day I'd come in, close the door. And I don't know what I did. I don't remember. But she walked in, closed the door, and said, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing, but here's what I know you need to do. You need to get off your butt and fix this. There's nobody in this company can fix it but you. I don't know how you're going to fix it, but you need to fix it," and then walk back out. And if I could have had something in my hand, I'd have thrown it at her.
But it was the best thing she ever said to you.
And then boom, reality hit. I'm like, she's right, you dummy. You failed, or you started. So you went from a landscape company, you walked from that, you didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw out of. You built an empire. You lost it in 2008. I lost the pot and the window to throw it out of in 2008 and rebuilt. So if you've done it once, you've done it twice, then do it again. You have the ability, you have the passion, you have the God-given talent, and you have God on your side. So do it.
So
And
do
we
it.
did. Yeah.
And
But
look
yeah,
what
that's the support that I get from my wife is just quit being a baby and go do it. Instead of her coming in here and coddling me and hugging on me, she said, "Hey, quit being a baby and just fix this, because we've listened to you storm through this office. We've listened to you pout. We're done. You got it out of your system. Go rebuild." And we did. And we rebuilt.
And now you've rebuilt even, I don't even know, I'm not going to talk about dollars, but you've rebuilt this.
Yes.
And now it's changing this, right? So
Right.
you change your
Right.
mindset, you're going to change your actions, and now you are helping others to do it too.
Right.
And
Right.
that to me that is where it's at. That's
And
what's made you part of BTBY.
yeah, and people ask, why do you go? Why if God is so great, why do we go through these trials and tribulations? So that
Mhm.
you can help somebody else go through that trial and tribulation, so that you can be an inspiration. Because see, if I couldn't relate to you, Brenda, I can't help you.
That's
If
right.
if I've never been in your shoes, if I've
Can't give
never been
advice
down
on
that
something you
path,
haven't been through.
right, I can't empathize with you. I can't really share with you the feeling. But when I have, then you say, hey, what he's saying has to be true because he was there and he's
Mhm.
been through it. So maybe there's some truth to it. I believe that we go through trials and tribulations for two reasons. One is to always, always, always turn to God, not to
Mhm.
man,
That's
to
right.
know that he's in control, and that if we truly believe that he will lead us through the fires of hell, that we will be at the other end with him. I believe that's one reason why we go through it. And number two, so that we can now share our story to inspire and lead and lift up others.
And when the Bible says wherefore as or therefore, that's exactly what it means. This, therefore.
That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. And that's
Yep.
what, I don't want to redo it, but if here's the deal, if he took it all the way today, if there's so many people say, you got the, and I don't want to say names, you got the people out there that say, if I lost it all today, this is what I would do. And I say, you know what? No, you wouldn't. I don't know
No.
that you would. I can't say. But if I lost it all today, then I would know that I'm going to Brenda Ringwood's house and we're going to go start traveling the world, because there's one thing they
We
won't take
are.
from me. That's my motorhome. They can
That's right.
have the rest of it. And we're going to take my wife. I'm going to kidnap my grandkids, because
And
then
we're
my
gonna
daughter can
go.
just follow me. And we're
Mhm.
going to travel the world, and we're going to spread the message. And we're going to live on peanut butter and tuna and Fritos.
Whatever
And
it
I don't
takes.
care. I
That's
don't
right.
care.
We
I,
did an event. All of our Safe in His Arms are free. We originally started doing that event as a women's conference, and
yeah.
we were going to sell tickets. And we have made them free events everywhere we go. We pay the cost 100%. We find it somewhere, somehow, some way, and we go out and make a difference because that's what we're called to do.
Right.
And
That's
my thing is Christ isn't coming back until everybody's heard.
right.
So the only way they're going to hear is if somebody speaks it and goes out and
Right.
does it. So,
Yeah, we got to
everybody
spread the
complains
fire.
about the internet, but that's how it's happening. That's
It
how
is.
everybody's going to hear the word.
I mean, look at how many people have. I mean, there's so many people that have viewed this today, and I don't know how many of them are first time listeners, how many are repeat listeners, but I know that this message is being sent. I did that deal 2 weeks ago about remove the noise. 27,000 people have listened to that message. 27,000 people. I don't know. I don't know that many people.
But they know they needed something. They
Right.
needed to hear that message because
Right.
they are wanting change.
Yeah, I don't even know what that number's at today. It's unbelievable that the people need
Mhm.
fire. They need inspiration. They need to be lifted up.
And
But yet,
here's the thing
go
on
ahead.
that with people, they think we got to have all these followers. Oh, we've only got 4 people on right now. You're right. That's right now. But
Yeah,
let's look tomorrow, and then let's look next week, and let's look and see how many people have watched it and watched it and watched it and watched it and
that's
watched
right.
it. It's the future. It's the tomorrow that we're trying to change, but you can't change tomorrow if you don't start today. So I
You
bet
got
you
to
that's
plant.
over 27,000 now.
Yeah. So that's what I want to try to find it real quick. There's that. I'm almost there. Where's I know it's right after the post where my wife posted
But
the
they still
crow.
are watching it. There are people,
Yes,
they're scrolling and stopping to see it
yeah,
because it's a message that needs to be heard.
it is. It's so empowering. And like I said, so here it is. So we are 32,583 people.
Another 5,000, 6,000 people. No, 5,000,
Mhm.
4,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
said
and
from
I, I
27 to 32,000, 5,000 people.
and if you remember, I think we had our webinar. I think I did that on a
Mhm.
Tuesday.
You
We had
did.
our webinar on a Thursday, and I said, "Man, if we just had 2,000 people, that was my goal, was to have 2,000 people look at it or watch it before the webinar." And I think it was already at like 12 or
Mhm.
14,000 then. It's just, but that you're right. It just shows that many people need, want, and desire a better tomorrow. Problem is, out of that 32,000, how many of them are going to make a decision? How many are going to take action? How many of them are going to say, today's the day?
Yep, that most of them are going to say this. I can't right now.
Yeah, I can't.
Right now.
You know, once I save up this, I'll be able to do that. Once I do this, then I'll do that. Because this never happens. Because if this was going to happen, it would have already happened.
That's right.
See,
and most people say that's like saying I'm never going to have a baby until I can afford it.
Right.
That's a matter of opinion on that as to what you can afford. But I know my pregnancies always came at the worst time.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you know, just to back that bus up, my princess angel was born September 23rd, 1995. I'd gotten married November of 1994. And we had no money. I'm telling you, we were dead broke. And you know, like Les Brown's comment, you know, I was so broke when I walked past the bank, I set off the alarm. That was us. I was us. We were so broke when we drove by the bank, the alarms went off.
But you know what? There was times when we first got married, I didn't know I was broke.
We didn't know what broke is. It's just a way of life. Yeah,
it was
just a way of life.
Yep.
But you look back now and I'm like, how the hell do we survive? But I didn't say, hey, baby, let's save up for 3 or 4 years and then we'll have a child. See, I wanted like a dozen kids. I really did. I wanted a big family because I grew up in a big family. I wanted a big family, but I wanted it to be a different family than what I grew up in. So I wanted to break the chain, but I also wanted to influence the most. But because of the second child, who was just like me, I mean, she is a spitting image of me.
That world.
Yeah, you see the scar? She gave me this scar on my nose. She actually broke my nose for the third time that was broke, but because that was it was a really tough pregnancy for my wife. I just said, I don't want to do it anymore. So, but we did. Brenda, I'm telling you, just like right now, it's never been, well, once I achieve this or get to this level, then I'll do that. In my world, everything's been, I want to do that. We're going to go do that. Mm-hmm. And my staff around me is like, Toby, have you thought this through? Have you planned? I was like, no, we'll do that along the way. My staff is wore out because I change or evolve. I don't change, I evolve. Because I see
wrong with that.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, did you think about this? Did you think about that? I'm like, no, I don't think we do. We do. Those people who want the most out of life will just take action. Mm-hmm. And then they figure it out as they go. Because if you're going to try to figure it out before you go, you'll never get there.
You'll never do it because it's like eating the big whole elephant at a time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Where do you start? I don't know. Somewhere, anywhere. You got to start somewhere.
Cleaning out a house, one room at a time, one little thing at a time. Don't try to do it all at one sitting because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Those individuals.
Sometimes leftovers are beautiful.
I love leftovers, especially like lasagna, spaghetti, chili. Yeah,
stuff that gets better over time.
Pizza, cold pizza leftover is the best.
I have to eat mine up again. Well, Toby, give our viewers one last piece of advice.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen? First and foremost, Brenda, thank you so much for hosting this. You know, you're amazing. You know that you are creating a monster in me.
No, I'm not creating it. We're just bringing out what was already there.
My wife says you're creating it, so I told her I would say that on the air.
Angie's right.
Yeah. The Queen, Juma, all that's from Africa.
The Queen, and she is.
The Queen Angie it says you're creating a monster, but I want to say to you first and foremost, thank you so much, Dr. Rubin, Dr. Clyde Rivers, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your platform, to be a part of your family, to be a part of all this. And I hope I never let you guys down. But for everybody listening here, you need to understand what you want. You need to actually sit down and think, wherever you're at, stop for 5 minutes and think, what do I want? Who do I want to become? Where do I want to be 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? What does that look like? and then ask yourself a question. If I continue doing what I'm doing, am I going to get there? If the answer is yes, wonderful, keep going. But if there's ever a second of hesitation, and you have to modify where you want to be because of where you're at, then you need to make a decision. How bad do you want that? How bad are you ready and willing to achieve that? And if you need guidance, you need help, you need a coach, you need a mentor, that's what we do. The Unshakable Investor is not just investing in real estate. The reason why we called it the Unshakable Investor is because I invest in you. You invest in you. You're investing in your future. You're investing in a better opportunity, a better life. And if that entails real estate, great. But if it more importantly entails you believing in you and never looking back, that's the investment.
Mm-hmm. That's why you're called the Unshakable Investor, because you're going to teach them how to not be shakeable.
Never look back. Never look back. No matter what. No matter what. We could. How many times we all want to throw in the towel? But when you see the other Tobyism, so there's a third Tobyism here. If you don't quit, you can't lose.
That's
if you
right.
don't quit, you can't lose. No matter what it is in life, whether it doesn't matter. If you don't quit, you can't lose. And so, number one, make a decision, because the decision you make should shape your life, but the life you want should shape the decision. Tobyism number one. Tobyism number two. No excuses. Don't allow the noise excuses to squish your dreams. Tobyism number three. If it's going to be, write this down, tart this down. I don't care, record it. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And then number four, if you don't quit, you can't lose. Man, that's a whole book right there. That's a whole book of me. So,
and they can come meet you in Kansas City next week.
And I will. I will. If you come to Kansas City to her event, you come find me. I will autograph this book for you. I will autograph. We're going to have about 100 of them there. You should be getting shipments today. In fact, I think you get a shipment of one book or two books. You're going to get a shipment of one book. You're going to get a second shipment of one book, and then you're going to get a shipment of 28 books, and I'm bringing about 50 of them. Okay. Why Amazon does that, I don't know. I don't care.
They ship them as they print.
Right. So you come, you tell Brenda, me, whoever, my staff, hey, I saw Toby on this deal on Saturday at 1 o'clock. He said to come by. You say that, you get an autographed book. Okay?
Sounds good. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. ComeChangeYourLife.com.
Love you, girl.